Hey guys, how are you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I'm going to be doing a reading for the collective, an energy reading, just to kind of see what's, what we're facing, what needs to be, looked into. Remember that this is a timeless reading. It's not personal. So whatever is going to be picked up, for the collective, it may or may not happen. There are so many different infinite timelines out there, so it's just really about taking a snapshot and just having a look to see what timeline, the strongest timeline is going to, sort of like pop up and see what we can make of it. So this, I was thinking about probably over the next couple of days, kind of seeing what it like for the collective, what's it going to be, what it could look like, because as I said, anything can change at the last minute, moment by moment. Let's have a look and see all the same. Remember, take what resonates, guys, leave the rest behind. It doesn't feel like it's going to fit with the way how you're feeling right now, how you feel where things are, how things are and where things could possibly go. All right, so I hope you're all keeping well and looking after yourselves, grounding yourselves, shielding. All right. Okay, show me what the cards are for the collective. What is it that the collective needs to know over the next couple of days? Let's just throw it out there and see. All right, so first up we've got the Eight of Pentacles in the upright position. Just feel like this is just getting on with things, regardless. Just focusing more on what you can do, either, for yourself, by yourself, or, with others. I kind of feel, if you notice, like with the small, the background, you've got this, building behind. I feel it's almost like really turning one's back on, just moving away from sort of like built up areas and really preferring to kind of like be within, your own sort of like environment and kind of like just getting on with things and just kind of turning your back on things that just don't feel like it's really working for you, but this feels more, something that can be more digestible, something that brings one satisfaction. We've got the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I'll be honest, the first thing I thought of was I don't want it to sound a bit stubborny or too proud, but I really don't feel that you need anyone's help at the moment, or like it's like, no, I'm good, I'm all right, I'm very well, thank you. Okay, and the way how the person is here, that's got their heads down, there could be somebody that may be coming your way with an unexpected kind of offer. You can either accept it or not. But I just feel that there may be some kind of unexpected help that may be coming in. If you may have already resided in, I might as well just do things for myself, by myself, and just get on with things. It'd be nice to have the help, but I don't really need it. I don't really, and just get on with it. Kind of getting this kind of energy from this person, but there is help that could be coming in, or it may not be accepted. The next card that we have got is the Eight of Swords in the upright position. So maybe a feeling of feeling really trapped mentally, and just really feeling like I need to kind of like move away from this kind of stuck energy. You could be inspiring somebody to kind of like come towards you to try to contribute something to make this then the Nine of Pentacles for, independence, being more sovereign. We've got the Six of Swords in the reverse. Even though it's in reverse, it's kind of weird because it's looking like there is still some kind of travel, because it's heading in your direction. You know, and I'm getting a saying of, if you build it, they will come. So it could be people that you could be inspiring with what you're doing. Like, instead of talking all the time, you're actually giving people inspiration to either come towards you, to collaborate and work with you, if you're trying to create some kind of community-based environment, or this is something that you are showing others through, like, you know, your own channel, how to. But it's like, whatever it is that you're doing, you're helping people to kind of, like, you know, decide for themselves whether or not they're going to want to stay in this situation with the Eight of Swords or come out from it. Because the Eight of Swords, as you know, yeah, you know, it can be like a very stuck, bound sort of situation. But again, it depends on someone's perception of the situation that they're in. And they don't really necessarily have to be stuck in it for such a long time. But the way how these cards are positioned in the reverse, it's kind of giving me that you're giving people inspiration with whatever it is that you're doing. The next card that we've got is the Five of Swords. Now, fives are all about changes. Another thing that I'm getting with the Five of Swords in this instance for this reading is that nobody really wins here. And I'm also, I feel if there have been people that have been trying to change things in an environment that is so freaking toxic, and you feel as if you're fighting a losing battle. Whatever it is, I feel that you are encouraging people to kind of move away from a toxic environment, something that has been really making them feel really stuck and bound. And it's like, I can't win here. I literally cannot. No matter what I seem to do to try to help people or to give them inspiration, I'm just met with so much resistance, so much backlash. If you have been somebody that has been trying to wake people up to look at this toxic situation that they're in, and maybe people have been waking up, but they're still in that misery, they're still under that manipulative system. And there's nothing like, sometimes you just literally have to leave people where you find them, you know, because you just can't win. And what I feel here is that you are helping people, you're giving people inspiration to really leave others behind who just refuse to change. And you're helping to sort of, it's almost as if you're that bridge to help people who may have been, like, you know, trying to do some kind of charity work, some kind of humanitarian work, and it has always just been falling on deaf ears. Like, it's just been not really working. It's been a lot of headache, a lot of pushback, a lot of interference, infiltration, manipulation, corruption. And in the end, it's like, what am I really doing here? And it's almost at this point of where it's almost like, yeah, should I stay? Should I go? But then it's really, the reality is that people are just leaving. You're encouraging others to leave a toxic situation where they may have actually tried to help others. And it's just been, it's just been fighting a losing battle. Let's see what we have underneath the bottom of the deck. King of Cups in the reverse. I just feel there's a bit of a bitterness here. And if you can see, guys, this is the Three of Cups in the reverse. I just feel that people are just, like, literally to the point of where I can only do what I can. And I'm realizing that all of my efforts are going nowhere because of this kind of corrupt system, corrupt society. People are just really, nasty towards each other. You're not really getting anywhere with people, and it's just making people feel very emotionally exhausted, fatigued. I can't do this anymore, and if I don't leave now, I'm going to end up getting stuck and drowning in this kind of emotion with the others, and I don't really want that for myself. And I feel it's time to leave. And even this King of Cups in the reverse is again looking towards you in the Eight of Pentacles, because you've already left, and you're showing people that it's not as difficult or as hard. It doesn't have to be scary. Leaving behind a situation or people, places and things isn't as scary or as intimidating as you first think it could be. It's just a state of mind. And the moment that you change your mindset, everything falls into place. So this is really amazing to say. I mean, look, the Justice system in the reverse, the Three of Cups in the reverse. I'm just going to put these cards up here a minute due to limited space. And I'm going to have a look and see what's going on. Let's just expand on this energy. Let's just expand. I'll be honest, it feels, whatever it is that's going on here, it really feels inspirational. And it's even like my heart chakra is just feeling really like, wow, this can be something, this can work. If you are one of those people who are lucky to be in a position of owning a large piece of land, you're homesteading, or you're trying to build a community, I'm really getting this builder type energy from you. This could even be you as, being your life path number 8. 8 could be very significant for this reading as a manifestation number, as a number of abundance. Yeah, I'm just getting this feeling that people have had enough. And what's most interesting, before I go any further, is, so I just got to be mindful with this. You see this building here, and how close this person is to this building. Here, with you, the building is much farther away. And, these are both 8s here. 88 could be very significant, very, very significant. Okay, so if these are your numbers, or a frequency as well, 88 hertz frequency. Check that out, whatever that means to you, but definitely check out the number 88. You're inspiring people to take better care of yourself or themselves, be more responsible. All of those are the qualities of somebody who's living a very independent and sovereign way of life. You're showing them sovereignty through your actions. And that's amazing. That's really good. Let's see what we have. As I said, for the first card, 8 of Pentacles. Another thing that I'm sensing here with this Page of Pentacles as well is that people aren't really coming towards you, or, in a way, empty-handed. They're coming with something that they can bring to the table. Whatever little skill sets that they have, or some kind of expertise, or some kind of, lengthy experience. I just feel that you're encouraging others to come, whether it's come to you, as I said, physically, or to create something very similar to what you are doing or showing them, that they can replicate for themselves. I'm hearing like breakaway society, building, construction, efforts, change. I'm hearing two words, wilderness as well. But this energy here, these 3 cards here, is just full of headache, struggle, and it's just mayhem. But then towards here, it's just, again, just through calmer waters of being really peaceful. So with the Eight of Pentacles in upright position, we've got the Ace of Wands. This is an opportunity. I feel that you've started something. You've ignited passion, confidence in somebody or others, that they can do it too. If you can do it, they can do it too. Now, whatever this is about applying a lot of hard work into it as well. This isn't something that falls easily into someone's lap, unless they are very, very lucky, like buying a lottery ticket and then, oh my gosh, my numbers have come up and then I can deal with these things. This is not that kind of energy here. Although as I said, you may have been, coming to, large amounts of money in that wave, and who knows. But whatever this is, you've started something. You've created a movement. You've created something. You've inspired some people to be like, yes, I'm very much of a person who loves to help others. I love to talk to other people. I love to see people to succeed. But I've been getting so much red tape, so much backlash from, disorganized organizations who are just using my gifts, my talents, my expertise, my position to take advantage of. And all of my efforts to help society, has been futile. It hasn't really got me anywhere, but just given me a lot of mental stress, depression, and I just can't anymore. So with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, we have got the Magician, giving people a way out so that they can manifest things a lot more easier. In manifestation doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to sit and wish for something, oh, it's going to fall in my lap. You're showing them that they have to apply energy into their intentions in order to make something work. But that also does require moving away from something, decluttering all of this mess with the Five of Swords. Because, I'll be honest, there's some real ignorant people out there who just want to cause, mayhem and misery for others. And that's what they do. That's their profession. That's their career, And people have just had enough. And with the Eight of Swords in the upright position, we have got the Ace of Cups. People who may have lost all hope and just thinking my creativity is going down the drain here. You're giving people the feeling of renewing their faith, their belief that all things are possible. Don't give up. Just because you may have failed in one area here, it doesn't mean that you are a failure in general, all over, or a loser, despite what these arseholes have to say. You can still do something. With the Three of Cups in the reverse, again, this is giving me a feeling of a breakaway, like just falling out. Like you can't force change on everybody who doesn't want it. And if these people have been trying to, help people to, wake people up, as I said, and they're heavily embedded in the system, or, oh, well, it is what it is, and, I like being told what to do. How are we going to get things done if we don't have anyone to tell us what to do? That kind of mentality. What the and this is why people are just emotionally spent. They have like toxic fatigue, ignorance fatigue. They can't understand the cognitive dissonance that most of these people have. But remember, it's the programming. And these are, these lot can't be programmed. But they're just so pissed off. So what's the freaking point, And I'm also getting that, again, people are thinking about their mental health is it worth it in staying in something where your mental health can be really and truly affected here? And this is a real serious question, deep reflection that most people are really, really getting into. But because of what it is that you were doing, you were giving people renewed hope and faith that they can make the world a better place. But even if it's just sort of localized and they build up their community that way to help inspire others, even if this is you creating books, content, or something that is pulling people away from the intel guru crap, the gatekeeper crap, the disclosure crap, because it's all a psyop to keep people engaged in perpetual fear. And it's not really helping to build people up. It's just helping to break people down and keep people divided. And you would have seen through that bullshit. No more polarization for me. Thank you very much. I need my inner peace, and I'm very happy where I am. You're helping people to see things in that way too. They can feel it, but this is confirmation for them. The Six of Swords in the reverse is the Queen of Swords in the reverse. And again, this Queen of Swords is looking in the direction of where you are. Whatever it is that you're doing, you're giving people that clarity. And that, it's almost like showing them the green light. And they are cutting people off. And it may be in a way that they may leave on bad terms with people. Because the Queen of Swords can be, she may have a really very powerful way of delivering words that might be cutting for others. They may not be able to handle what she says because she's so angry and pissed off. Like, she's just like, what's the point? I'm leaving. Leave these up behind. Leave them behind with their corruption and their, programming and their cognitive dissonance. And some of these people who will defend the system will defend it to the very end. And they look on you and these lot as a threat to that very matrix that you've been trying so hard to wake people up and help them to break away. Some of them, they don't want to because they're part of the program. They've got Stockholm Syndrome, And with the Five of Swords, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. This is what everyone's trying to go for, trying to create this wonderful change, trying to help to bring society into a better way of living and being. But if you can't create it over there, you might as well, see if you can create it over that side. And this is what people are trying to deliberately mess up, infiltrate and destroy, is this wonderful looking Ten of Pentacles. This is all about abundance, success. The Ten of Pentacles is under threat here. Underneath the bottom of the deck, we have got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And I just really feel that people have they're no longer waiting. Hey guys, sorry about that. The microphone battery died, so I had to quickly recharge them again. So as I was talking about the Seven of Pentacles being in the reverse, underneath the bottom of the deck, there's this feeling of no longer waiting and realizing that in order to kind of get to that 5D lifestyle, that 5D living consciousness, and to bring it now into the reality, it's like we're needing to kind of, make it happen by actually taking action with the Eight of Pentacles energy in order to bring it about, and with the Magician card to work on manifesting it. So let's close out the reading with some messages from the Inner Temple Oracle. Let's just see what cards, what messages that we get from this, just to kind of close it out. So we have got, first card up, we have got is life force. So it's within you. It's using that inner power within you to make things happen. It doesn't really start, the usual saying of, if you want to change the world around you, you've got to go within. And, it's so true. In order for things to change, in your outer environment. It really does start from within. And this life force is also giving you like sheer willpower, your will to actually get things done. You are, after all, a co-creator with the universe. And if you are able to inspire others to sort of either join you physically or to create their own version of the 5D living that, you know, they envision for themselves, rather than sort of still be in this sort of lose in the battle type of situation, this kind of scenario where it's just, you know, it's like wallpaper that you have up and like the wallpaper's falling down and you're trying to quickly hold up each section, but the more you do that, the more it's just coming down. But if you're able to, you know, show people the way, then they'll be able to replicate something similar themselves. I'm going to choose the card at the top of the deck, and we do have aligned. So it really is about the frequency alignment, you know, and I feel that the more that people are understanding more about frequencies, alignments, vibrations, which changes the consciousness, and you're realizing that you're literally in like two different sort of planes of existence, where you've got the misaligned, which would be like the 5D type, the 5 of Swords type of energy, where it's just manipulation and conflict and dramas and chaos. That soul-sucking energy. And people that are, you know, no longer in alignment with that, they're moving away from that, which causes this separation. So sometimes it's like, I can only describe it as being ghosts to one another, or looking, being on either side of a mirror, or a portal, if you like, or a one-way mirror where you can see them, they can't see you, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you're just invisible to each other because the frequencies are not in alignment with how they were before. And because of all of these energies that are coming through the sun, and it's picking up on the Schumann resonance, and we're seeing this a lot, it's affecting more and more people. More and more of the, you know, starseeds are kind of like slowly coming into a realization that, you know, it really is about, you know, if we really want to create this community that we've been sort of going on about for ages, for years. And others, yes, they have done that themselves, you know, they've already started. So, you know, kudos to those, not forgetting those ones who have already started it. But this is more to do with those who are now realizing that it really is time to give up and move away. Not to say give up in a sense of losing or retreating, which is, you know, cowardice. And it's nothing like that. It literally is about alignment and the frequency shift, the timeline shift. Realizing that the more one stays in this toxicity, that's where you're going to remain. So it's a toss-up between, do I continue to live and battle in the 8 of Swords energy, where I'm consciously, physically and emotionally and spiritually bound to this misery? Or do I just make that choice, as well as the frequencies that's helping me to see things much more clearly, and move away, migrate away towards this 8 of Pentacles, like a spiritual exodus? And then the next card that we have got is the freedom. You know, this is what it's all about. No longer being in this trapped environment, which is what was going on with the 8 of Swords. And it's like, you know, I see a lot of people online that sort of talk about, you know, the isolation they feel with, you know, being surrounded by so many of these people that are just totally asleep, and this and the other. They are defenders of the system, or they're just so blinded by it. And you may, you know, certainly have family and friends who you really care about, but it's like your energy towards trying to help humanity, it's like it's not being funneled in the right way, and it's like it's draining away your life force, and it needs replenishing. But how can it be replenished when You keep on, it's like filling up an empty bucket that's got a hole in it. It's never really going to be fulfilled. And realizing this, moving away is the only way. The next card that we have got is Chamber of Forgiveness. So this is something that I feel a lot of people are sort of moving towards, understanding what forgiveness is. And, you know, yes, it is a challenge because obviously with what maybe, you know, a lot of people may have gone through with regards to, you know, a lot of ridicule, a lot of, you know, false things being said, you know, oh, this person's weird and they're just really out there, they're crazy and stuff like this. And why don't they just go and get a regular job? Why don't they just go and roll up their sleeves and take it in the arm? And why don't they just continue to wear a mask and etc.? You know, all of this. Just do as what the government tells you and they'll leave you alone. But that's not what you are here for. You never came down here for that, you know. So it's forgiving those who really are very misguided, very misaligned, very intoxicated with toxicity, with control. And forgiving yourself for spending more time than you needed to, than you should have. Forgiving the situation and then just kind of like getting your freedom. The more that you let go of this resentment and hurt and, you know, betrayal and etc., the lighter it will be and easier it will be for, you know, you to, you know, kind of move away, or people, you know, can move away from this. And they're just really kind of like glad maybe to have connected with you either online or offline in person if they know you personally, or, you know, they've subscribed to your content, your channel, you know, subscribed to your website. You're giving people hope. And then the next card that we've got is the Golden, always staying golden. And whatever it is that you're doing, you're really helping people to kind of like remember who they are and kind of take back their power and replenish themselves. And then they'll be able to get that inspiration, that creativity spark comes back, it returns because of unraveling themselves, unweaving themselves from this connection and feeling the feeling of, you know, the feel-good energies coming back, you know, never giving up on hope, not thinking small. You're only thinking small because of this energy here, but here, this is expansion, this is limitless possibilities. And, you know, you are encouraging them to leave the 3D world behind. Underneath the bottom of the deck, we have got Chamber of Innocence. So this is a return to innocence. This is like that childlike energy, that inner child being healed and helping everything to, I'm not saying it in the sense of, oh, you know, the love and light and all that new age stuff. This is not this at all, because in this energy, there was nothing love and light about this. You know, for those who are on that real spiritual awakening, that real spiritual journey, facing everyday opposition, hardship, spiritual psychic attacks, there's nothing all love and light about that. You know, these traumas that are, you know, very, very real and present needed to be worked through a lot. And if you are this person here, you've shown them that, you know, it is possible to change. It is. It really, really is. You know, it can be done. So this is really good. This is what I've got. Yeah, sorry about the having to sort of chop the reading, but anyway, it is what it is, I guess. So hopefully this has helped you with your situation. If you resonate with the reading, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Take care.